Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Jamaica Caana. We're in the beautiful parish of St. Thomas, I've been reminded here, and the Blue Mountain coffee industry. We have been blessed today because we have heard of the fact that Jamaican coffee, the Blue Mountain coffee, is the best coffee in the world. So a lot of you know that the coffee tastes good, one of the best in comparison to the rest of coffee you've had, but you do not have an idea the process that the coffee goes through or where it's from. It is said that coffee was first introduced to the West Indies in 1723 by King of France, King Louis XV. He gifted 3 plants to Martinique, and the governor of Martinique in 1728 gifted 1 single plant to a Jamaican governor by the name of Nicholas Lowes. So from that 1 plant, the Jamaican coffee industry started. The first batch of Jamaican coffee that was ever exported was in 1737. The rest is history. But today we have been privileged to be here with a veteran Jamaican coffee farmer by the name of Prince. He will let us know what we need to know about the Jamaican coffee industry, from the growing of the plant to the processing and how the coffee ends up on your table. So today we have got Prince, who will be giving us a history of the Jamaican coffee industry. And Sir Prince, pleasure sir, I've been blessed.
Yeah, man.
And I just want you to just tell us a bit about the coffee industry.
Well, so far, I emerged into the coffee industry based on dreams that I am working now to become reality. It's a dream and it's now a reality. Right here now is my farm. These are growing trees. These trees are roughly 4 years, 5 years coming up. But this is really a young farm. It's not real mature to the max. But you can see and feel and so forth. But this is just a preview of what we will be seeing today.
Okay.
To plant these coffee trees, it started out, you have to prepare the land. You have to measure between 8 feet and 10 feet in a rotation. If you notice, they plant in a rotation.
Yes.
Because when you plant them in a rotation, they are easily managed. By picking, you have to pick rotation. Each picker pick a row, because everything have to be managed properly. Most of the practices to plant a coffee tree, to get it this size, it take a lot of care, lots and lots of care, because coffee is so sensitive that it requires, just like you keep your bedroom, your living room, your child, yourself, it requires all of that, because the grass will make fungus. If you don't give it the proper fertilization, the proper nutrient, the trees will fail and you will get less crop per year. It doesn't make any sense growing coffee all year round and it doesn't get any crop, because you're losing time. That is the minimum you should be getting, 80 boxes per acre. And 80 boxes is not the max. You should be getting more. But most coffee farmers doesn't have the tools, the financial support. It is even ringing a bell right now in the Jamaican society. We doesn't recognize well as peasant farmers, but one like myself and maybe others have to recognize ourselves while we are in the industry.
Yes.
Because it's very challenging to even get on the farm,
Yes.
to cultivate,
journey coming here, it's rugged.
It's very challenging.
Yes, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Whether you drive, it's a challenge, or whether you hike it on foot.
Yes.
Because first I started out hiking on foot in the last maybe 20 years. I've been hiking it on foot here.
Yeah.
Because before we didn't have drive roads. So we hike it on foot.
Okay.
And it's a challenge to bring material here, but we still manage.
Yes.
And it's still a challenge when you have to drive a car, a truck, because it still break up. It still got break. Bro.
Yes.
All right, let's run through a little bit of the process.
Okay. There.
I can do a process on the tree.
Yes.
Let me get a tree that
And ladies and gentlemen, if you can take a look in the backdrop, that is the Blue Mountain. Beautiful.
All right. We are now in the Yallas Valley here.
Okay.
Over there is Yallas. It's Yallas Bay.
Yes.
And that's why this area is called Yallas Valley. Yallas Valley is renowned for Blue Mountain coffee during slavery.
Okay.
This is where the Jamaica lower. Over there going back to Mavis Bank, it's getting lower. So this is the ice peak of the Blue Mountain.
Wow.
The peak is right behind that valley. Behind that valley is Valley River. We call it White River. We know
Prince, that this is the highest point of the Blue Mountain coffee industry. So depends on the point, the crop that is yielded, it's a better crop, or you've got the different grades?
Yes, it's all depend. Yes, it is. It is what now considered as the higher altitude. Coffee is more exported quality, more taste, and that is what most coffee producers is now running down.
Okay.
They want this crop more than the others.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is, and that's why we should be getting a preferential treatment in terms of how it is challenging to grow
And the quality that you produce. I noticed the plants, they're well kept,
Yes.
well, like what you call it, mulch?
Well, they are cared for because I don't really can care for them the way I want to.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little backward in terms of doing the practices.
Okay.
I'm a little backward in terms of I should be caring every 3 months
Oh.
to 4 months.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
weed control is a must.
Yes, I know this. Yes, you're doing a good job, anyways. But you
Weed
said
control
it.
is a must.
Yeah.
And every time you weed control, you must fertilize.
Yes.
Or you must do whether a leaf fertilizing or a little form of fungiciding to keep the fungus away.
Okay.
Right. So if you don't do that, you will always have less crop, because in this altitude you have crop around the ear,
Okay.
which is good. Crop around the ear.
Wow.
So if you notice now, it is giving some new crops. These are, we call them nitsin. They're nitsin.
Yes.
And these are going to be blooming flowers, but they're just at the early stage. And if you notice that we had beans not yet finished picking,
Yes.
and we had ripe beans. So by the time these are finished, we have a new crop,
Oh.
which is good. These are all right. These type of coffee, I really specialize in these coffee because this coffee is called Panamanian Geisha, but they also call them Arabica.
Okay.
But the reason why I specialize in these doesn't carry any fungus. They carry fungus, but not as the others.
Okay.
And in some cases they don't. So we call them in Jamaica bluers, because they just stay blue and nice, and they bear right round the ear, or they bear every year you get a crop.
You get a crop.
It's a must.
Okay. My eyes are on that plant right down there.
All right,
Right beans.
let me walk around properly.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to train your workers.
Yep.
You you know, sometimes it's hard to get workers, so you have to just take anybody you get, which
Okay.
is sensible and not so sensible. So you have to just do that. All right. When you have to examine each person bag when they're throwing it out,
Yeah.
so that you can see if this is a good picker, or they can also cheat the picking because you pay $1,000 to pick a box.
Yeah.
And most people want to pick all 2, 3, 4 box, so that they will have 4,000, 3,000
Yeah.
for the day. So they will give you the green ones. The green ones is not good to pick, and the one that is not so right enough.
Yeah.
Because what happened when the process is over? Let's get to the process. This is the process.
Okay.
I will pick them and take them to my processing place,
Yes.
where I had my cottage industry at my yard, and I would pulp them. And after pulping all of them,
So this is what you. This is the process of pulping.
yes, this is pulping. This is called pulping. This is
Okay.
this is the cherry skin. So this is pulping.
So pulping is done by hand, or you've got a
No.
machine? Oh, you okay?
But I can pulp.
You
it.
can pulp, okay.
I'm pulping
Let me
it
see
on just to show
yeah,
you
just
the
to show
process.
that. Okay, good.
So
Wow.
I'm just doing a manual and pulping now. So in each bean, if you notice, these bean, you know, you have to kind of know about beans.
Yeah.
Because right now there's 2 type of beans, which you have the flat ones,
Yeah.
and you got the peel berries. To identify the peel berry on the trees, you have to actually know the bean. All right.
Okay.
This bean is a peel berry. Pull it.
Okay. So.
When you pull it, and this one is a peel berry.
Oh, it's just plucks like that.
So
eh?
it come out by one. All right. This bean is not a peel berry. So you open it, and you will see it come out with 2 flat ones.
My goodness.
So peel berry only come with 1.
You. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. They said peel berry is the strongest out of all of them. But after the process is done, you put them into like me. I doesn't have this Tapenaris facility, so I had to develop from my own knowledge. Or will I do it as a manual processor?
Yeah.
And as a person who is doing like the ice amount each month, each picking time,
Yeah.
at least when the crop is up, and I am picking like 30-40 boxes a week, then I have that to angle.
Yes. Okay.
And by the time it's dry, maybe halfway in, I can it may be finished by 40 hours. It all depends on the sun.
Yeah.
So then I had that to sit, and then I had another crop to pick in another 3 to 4 weeks. So I will have to pick for 6 months, right around the year for 6 months. I had some breaks in June, back to August and September. So during that time I have breaks.
Okay.
So I will always have to be preparing to come and pick
Oh.
while the crop is ready, because the crop will last for 6 months and a little
So Prince,
more.
when is the best time to plant?
The best time to plant is when it's raining, but my earliest days of best planting was in May.
Okay.
But I remember one year, 'cause May is a rainy season.
Rainy season. Yeah.
The first week of May is a rainy season. But I remember one year there was no rain in May, so we had a drought.
Yeah.
But I still planted, and I lose a few trees, but later on they're successful. But May is good, and in the falls, like September to now, going back to me.
Okay. You mentioned the rainy season. Does the soil, the texture of the soil, has anything to do with the grade coffee or the type of coffee you get? Like if the soil is dry.
Well, coffee love water,
Okay.
but coffee loves sun.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh.
to make the coffee, you have to boil the water. To roast,
Yes,
the,
to roast the
coffee,
coffee,
you have to have the fire. And you know, to make the coffee, you have to have the water, and you have to boil it.
Yes.
And to roast the coffee, you have to have fire. So it likes sun.
So from start to finish, the process is the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
It love rain to give you a fresher, better looking trees.
Yes.
And it also love rain. If you give it fertilizer, you don't give it, like I am doing some new strategy now to use injected fertilization,
Oh.
because it goes straight into the tree, to the earth. When the sun is hot, I can do it. When the fertilizing is waiting on the rain, it
Yeah.
doesn't get to work.
Okay.
So that is a smarter method. So what I did, if it's raining, I can come and throw my fertilizer because it will melt quickly.
Yes.
But when it's not raining, I had to inject.
Like in each plant?
Yes, I had an injected pump. It's like a kit,
Yeah.
a knapsack bag,
Yeah.
and I mix it like 25 to 30 pounds per 50 gallon container. It all depends on the size trees.
Yeah.
We give 4 or 5 injection to a big mother tree. We call them a mother tree,
yeah.
which is a fully mature
Yeah.
infusion. So we give that up to 4, smaller trees up to 2, very small trees 1.
Okay.
By the time you go up with the pump,
Yep.
it's 1. It's like it gives you a measurement.
Okay. Oh, it's like medication.
Yes,
Depends
it is
on
an
your-
injection.
It-
It's called
oh,
injection.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
So down in
Okay.
the ground,
Yeah.
the point of the injection is
Yeah.
spew, what is go underground. So you go.
Okay. So how many plants do you have to?
Well, I really own 24,000 plants and counting.
Oh.
So I have roughly 18.5 acres of coffee in general. Look right over there, those pine trees. That's mine.
Oh, yeah?
That's my another farm. We're gonna stop there on the way down. It's called Antali, and that farm is just on the top side of that farm, that sign. But I didn't decide to stop there until I'm coming back.
Okay. Fair enough.
I want to get you onto the ice point.
Yes. Wow.
So
That's amazing.
you can ask me any more questions. Let me continue this process.
Yes.
With this process now, you have to put this into ferment for overnight.
Okay.
Like I have a small facility, so what I do, I pulp, then I bag them up. This is the easiest method.
Yeah.
You bag them up and let them ferment it for a few hours. This sap, there's a sap on it
Yep.
that you have to get
I
off.
noticed. Yeah.
There's a sap.
Yep.
So when you put them in the bag or in the container by themselves, the skin is all gone, they're
Yeah.
all together. They kind of ferment, they get warm with themselves, and you put water on them, or even if you don't put any water on them yet, you leave them for a few hours, like up to 6 to 8, 10 hours, and then you put them in water and all that sap wash off. You can rinse them off easily.
Yeah.
But if you do it now, they won't come off. And if you dry it with them, it's not good.
Not good. Okay.
Because whenever the time gets cold, the sap become, even though the coffee is dry, the sap is like sugar. So it just
Like crystallized.
come back when the time get moist.
Yeah.
It just come back
Oh.
to haunt you. You know what I mean? The sweetness, it's like syrup.
Yes.
It's called a syrup. So you have to get that off. So if I was making wine or something like that, if I was in real invention,
Yeah.
I could have got some wine
From
From the sap.
From the sap.
or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So that sap have to wash off and rinse. Then you put them out to dry. You have to dry them up for 40 hours. You have to take them up when the weather change. After 3 days. Don't take them up. It's not a must. You have to take them up
When it rains.
when it rains before 3 days,
Okay.
because they are still wet.
Yeah.
And you have to dry them up to 12. What is it called again? 88%.
Okay.
have to take moisture out.
Okay.
You can leave it up to 12% or 11.5%. Up to even 11.
Left in it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
I don't really use a Meister machine, but I have good ideas how to do it. So I use my teeth, I use a knife,
Based on the batch.
yes.
Yeah.
And I also know when this coffee need another day sun or a few days, a few hours. So I actually work that way. And when you dry it up to 11 or even close to 10, the industry recommend 12.
Okay.
But I discover when you dry it like that, you can sit it more in your storage, because I don't have a thing that give a little heat system to keep it warm.
Yeah.
So when I dry it like that, if I happen to keep it in my storeroom a little longer, based on I don't have market and I don't have a lot of stuff, I have to use like a reserve knowledge that doesn't really should be said.
Yes.
It can be very harmful for too much information. So, so what I did, when I have it for a period of time,
Yeah.
it will come back to its 11 or it's 12, because you dry them and you can plant them again to germinate, because when water wet them, they will grow. So as soon, no matter how they dry,
Yeah.
as long as they are wet, just like red kidney beans, no matter how they are wet, they will come back to grow. So then after that, you get them hull. which is a process.
Yeah.
Trash them, it's called trashing, but the right word for coffee is hull, and these are called parchment.
Okay.
So you get them hull, and then you have to have a machine to hull them and polish them, because there's a second layer under it. After drying, there's a second layer.
Yeah.
Yes. And you have to hull them, size them. They have to be sized, and each size have to be kept in its own container, bags.
Wow.
Then they have to come to the table for unpicking with ladies or men who can do the job.
Yeah.
And they have to be people, there must be somebody who know the job much better. Like me, I am the man who know the job much better. Even though some workers know it just as me,
Yeah.
but they will not, most workers are not going to be fair enough to do the job properly.
So it's a
you
form
have,
of quality control.
yes.
Okay.
So you have to pick all the beans that is not up to standard for export
Yeah.
after its size. And
Okay.
each batch, each size have to pick by itself.
Okay.
So you're picking number one, just say you're picking number one.
Mhm.
You're going to size them, you're going to get your grade, you're going to get your pillberry out different. The
Okay.
machine will do that.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get your number one, your number two.
Okay.
So then, just say, looking at these beans, you know, when they dry, these big ones is going to be number one.
Okay. Okay. So you go back. Okay. Fair.
All right, and then these smaller ones going to be number two. So the machine will determine it. But these coffee up here, most of them is number one. And then this one is going to be pea berry. So you're going to have a batch of pea berry. Then you have a smaller bean which is called number three.
Okay.
And then it goes down to the last dust. So the machine do that process.
Wow.
These machines are not, you know, they would tell people of my color and my status that it is hard to buy. But when I do my own research, these machines, people buying cars for these machines, that doesn't turn back any money. People
Okay.
buying
Yep,
houses
yep,
for this
yep,
money.
yep.
People partying these money.
Yep.
You know, a group of us could come together and buy this machine easily.
Yeah.
So for me, I would put my neck on the block to buy these machines for 5 million. You know?
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it a lot.
Yeah. It's an
Peop-
investment.
Like that cooperative down there had several state-of-the-art machine that it's run by the people here. They didn't know the use of these valuable tools until they realized they have none now. So somebody have to rise up someday to come, which is not late, but must be sooner than late, to get, which I am doing. When you get to my my cottage industry, you're gonna see how I process. I first started out in a mortar. Now I happen to buy one of these little manual oiler,
Okay.
which I put a motor on, which gives me a little comfort.
Okay. Okay.
So this is just a preview on the
Just
farm.
a preview.
So
Fair.
I'm,
fair.
you know, the reason why I'm giving you this preview, I may not have enough coffee at the site to